think it's very necessary to plant a church here in Jakarta for several reasons.
And what I hope to see with this church presence in Jakarta is that this church can be a tool of God, that it can project the love of Christ to the people in the city.
In 2015, there are 10 million people in Jakarta and only 6 of them are Christian. So why we are personally committed to this church is because we want to be a part of living and sharing the gospel to those who never heard.
Well, I think it's important to be involved and be part of the church, which is focused on being a gospel center in the city.
While we're doing things, how does the gospel say? How does the gospel say? The disciples say, even in worship. So basically in everything.
Working as a government official, I see that a lot of people in the city are in need of care, not just material care, but also attention and also outreach from their neighbors. And I think this is something that the church can become, a neighbor to people in the city.
So the impact of this church that I'm most excited about is the possibility of seeing a whole community of believers having their hearts and minds renewed.
It is necessary for the church to be established in Jakarta because, statistically speaking, there are 24.5 millions of people in Jakarta and only 6% of them are Christians. And this 6% does not include my friends and family that are real.
When doing church, sometimes we forget in the middle of the things. We got driven by issue. We got too focused on things that is not actually the center of it.
There are many churches, but not many stick to the Bible. Many preachers, at least the pastors, they preach from their own wisdom, not from the Bible itself.
So I think it could be such a dangerous point where it's the congregation doesn't really know which one is the true theology, or even it could be such a big misleading towards the congregation.
I think the most important thing the church needs to teach people here in Jakarta and the rest of the world is that we need help and that we're depraved, sinful people, and without the salvation act of Jesus Christ, we'll never get to a point where we can be happy here or in the afterlife.
Just imagining a family of Christians ready to change Indonesia.
I think it's important to have a church which focus to build the people internally and the congregation, and you can grow together and then you impact the community, which means externally, and then from there you can actually impact the whole city.
There isn't ever going to be enough churches to reach to these 20 million people that will reach to 36 million people in a couple of years.
To be able to experience how the gospel really changed people's life and how the gospel can change life, and to see them discovering how beautiful the gospel is, it's gonna be a very rewarding experience for us.
Planting a new church that is biblical, that's Jesus-centered, gospel-centered, we just really need more of those in the city.
This is why we need to support TESA to build this church, so this church can be the impact for Jakarta.